Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Well-Appointed Desk. My name is Anna, and today I am going to go over sort of how my June planning went and jump into a little bit of plan with me for July. So I offer free printables to my patrons. This month's theme was strawberries. I love strawberries, and the full moon in June is called the strawberry moon, and it actually fell on my birthday this year. So of course this year's theme for June was strawberries. So anyway, the printables are available for A5, A6, B6, and weeks sizes. If you are a patron and would like me to offer these in other sizes, I did have a suggestion to make like a full-sized letter size, A4 size, that could be like hung up on the wall. So that is a possibility going forward, that maybe I will add that to my list of to-dos. But I've only had one request. So if that's something that you're interested in, like to do your sort of family events kind of thing, let me know and I may add that to my available printables. So for this month, I did a bit of travel. Oh, if you haven't seen these before, it is for like the smaller sizes, you can print these out back to back, like a duplexed on any printer. I have a lovely color printer, so I print mine out in color, but you can print them out in black and white. And I did that for years before I got my printer. You can also send it to your local copy shop and have them printed off for you as well. Or, you know, if you work in a big office, they probably have a color printer that if no one's looking, you could probably print out a page. So anyway, these are printed out duplex, duplex on the short side is usually what it says. And then the inside is your full month overview. And since I do all my planning in a blank planner, it's just blank paper. So it's kind of a variation on bullet journaling, straight up journaling, page a day planning, that kind of thing. So this helps me just create some chapters in my book. And sometimes I do like a little flip of washi tape, and I had strawberry washi tape for June. So I will know that that is June. May, the theme was like black and white. So I used the little black and white polka dots. April was, I think it was pink moon in April, and so I used a little piece of pink tape. Sometimes I use these round dot tabs that I have had for years and got from, I think probably got them at like Michael's or at, not Hobby Lobby, Joann's, rest in peace. And then I just write in what month it is. But yeah, so that is kind of how that goes. But I really like it. It just makes a really quick way for me to flip through. So for June, I did some traveling at the beginning of the month. And then the second week was my birthday, and I traveled out of town, and that threw everything into a tizzy as well. So basically, I was kind of out of town for a week straight. And my planning kind of fell by the wayside for my birthday on for about a week or so, just because things got crazy. And it's not planned. I do more what I call like logging or just sort of daily journaling kind of thing. So it's very much, just writing down whatever happened that day, rather than, and occasionally I will put like a to-do list in here, like Monday this week, I did put like a to-do list in, just, like this is some of the stuff I need to get done. But then I also, include, I have to track my headaches so that they will continue to provide me with my medication. So oftentimes I will write in my planner, usually the day after, when I get one of my debilitating cluster headaches, because then I can tell my doctor how many days in a given month. And oftentimes I'll write it in my calendar, what time it started, when it ended, how much medication I took. And then I will go back to my monthly overview, and I will put a black check mark so that I have a quick overview. And then I'll usually write in here because, I see my doctor like twice a year. And so I can just go back through my calendar and be like, June, I had 6, that kind of thing. So anyway, you don't really care about that. But if you have some other, something else that you want to track, like that. I find that the monthly calendar is a great way to just, whatever it is you need to keep track of, how many days you worked out, if you read a book, that kind of thing. I've been thinking about doing this with tracking how many days it takes me to read a book. And so just sort of like marking like the date that I started the book and then ... and how long it takes me to finish. Because oftentimes I'll have a book going as well as an audiobook, and just, it would be kind of fun. So anyway, that is sort of where June landed. I like a lot of my little swatches, like, yeah, here's my birthday, and the day after it was kind of it was like we were in the car most of the day, and the next day I was so tired I couldn't see straight. But yeah, so just little things here and there. And I've, like I tape things in or glue them in as it seems appropriate. I have lots of summer fruits from my sticker collection. So now we are towards the end of the month. I have a couple more days left, but I wanted to jump into my July planning and kind of do a little quick plan with me for you all. So the first thing that I do is when I get to the end of June, I will remove this strawberry pink pen and I will replace it with the pens that I chose specifically for July. So for July, these are the pens and inks that I picked out. I picked out a blue, like a sage green, the green pen that I always use. It just seems to go with everything. And I picked out a brown that I was thinking would be sort of sand and, driftwood, that kind of vibe. But lots of like greens and aquas and teals. So this top half are the fountain pens that I picked out, and then the bottom half are just brush pens, gel pens, that kind of thing that I would use throughout the month in my planner and journal. And those are the kinds of things I kind of switch out. So this Sailor Follow the Mermaid, which of course it had to be the Follow the Mermaid, I will probably will be the one that comes and lives in my case. This one, even though I didn't pick any purples, I went more for the aqua colors. I think this will be a great, it is my mermaid sailor, so of course I have to use it. Then the Kuiko Sage Green has Vinta Carnival. Oh, the ink in this one is Robert Oster's Morning Mist. Morning Mist. And then Summer Green. Like, I'm kind of rocking it, right? And then this guy, who I always have, it's my Kobe, I think it's called, it's a Sailor Pro Gear, but I think it's called Fresh Green. And it has Pen BBS, which is no longer available. Please don't shoot me. It is number 224. It's a matcha ice cream. Probably the closest to this color. I believe there's a Sailor. I think it is the, hold please. Here we go. It is the Sailor Waka Aguiso. It used to be in the Sailor Gentle bottles, but it's now, I believe, in the Shikiori line. So the other colors that I mentioned, here is the Morning Mist. Here is the Summer Green. It's such a perfect match. And then the Waka Aguso or matcha, it's almost exactly the same color as the matcha ice cream. They're almost identical. To the untrained eye, you would assume they were the same color. And then the last one that I have here is the, I have a Kuiko. This is the white iridescent from a couple years ago. It's my shell or pearl color. Don't these feel mermaidy? And that one I have Robert Oster's Cafe Crema to be sort of my sandy driftwood color. So those are the pens. The sort of standard everyday tools are all hidden in my Hobonichi pocket drawer in Ukrainian flowers that I got from Dromgools. And that has the rest of these pens, which we have the mild liner in this sort of oceany blue. I have two Marvy Le Pen in Flex, the peppermint and the teal. Then I have the Pentel brush sign pen in olive green and in pale brown. These get a lot of work. They get a lot of work out with me. I think because I go back and forth between, I mean, this color very much coordinates with the Pen BBS and the matcha green tea, which I use all the time. In spring, it's spring green. In the fall, it's fall green. Like, you know, you've seen my logo. If you've seen my logo, you know that is pretty much my favorite color. So I'm going to find a way to use it pretty much all year long. And then the last couple I have here is the Uniball one in avocado green. It is pretty pale, but I think it's kind of nice, and I might use it to do, just to like draw lines to like break up my page and that kind of thing. Maybe a little bit less writing. And then the only thing that I have that's sort of purpley is this Uniball one in the Mame de, I think it's Mame de Fuku? Yeah, Mame de Daifuku Iro. Oh, my friend would have such a field day with me. She actually speaks Japanese and probably thinks I'm crazy pants. My plan one day is to have her on my podcast and have her pronounce all of the like Pilot Oroshizuku inks and all the Sailor inks for me, and just like get me out of my humiliation a little bit. Maybe I'll actually sound like I speak Japanese. It seems unlikely. But anyway, did I talk about washi tape yet? I did not. Okay, so these are the pens that I'm going to use. I'm going to leave these out. These are just feel so good. I'm so happy about these. So those are all the pens. I've talked about this before, but I've started taking the washi tape that I'm using for the month and wrapping them around old like gift cards, or in my case, hotel cards. This is one from the old hotel from San Francisco. And I'm going to wrap the washi that I'm going to use for July around these cards. These were my cards for June, and this one was for May. A couple of these colors I think I will reuse for July. This polka dot and this green will probably get reused. And then I like keeping the black and white that I used for May just because it's fun. So mostly I used a lot of this tape. I still have a couple days, and I may go back and add a little bit in on some of those blank pages just to use it up and make my pages look a little less barren. So let's wrap some washi tape really quick. These are the colors that I picked. And like I said, this one and this one are already on these other cards, so I really only have to do these 4. So I'm going to wrap those really quick, and I'll come right back. Okay, I got my washi tape transferred over. I don't have any that are like actually seashells or waves or anything like that. So as much as I'm trying to use up the washi tape I already own, I might consider investing in a few rolls of more ocean seashell kind of vibe washi tape just to add a little something to my month. But I do like just having the patterns, because I do have a bunch of stickers that I'm going to use. So I may not need more object. It might be nice to just have color and pattern and things like that. So the only one that I didn't get on this card is the one that's on the strawberry card, which is this sort of white with the green polka dots. So I will just stick both of these into the front cover here and just carry those around with me as needed. So that is what we've got going on there. We've talked about the pens and the ink, and we talked about the washi tape. So let's switch over to the stickers and stamps and that kind of thing. So this month I dug through my stash of stickers and pulled a few that I wanted to use. So I have this one, which came in a kit from Sticky. Like, I was a member of the Sticky Sticker Club for a while. This was from a couple of years ago, And while it is black and white, it does have octopus and things like that. So I might end up using this. I am not sure yet. I will let you know. This was another one from one of the Sticky Club stickers. Like they do, like you can get either the pop collection or the vintage or the cute. And so for a while I was subscribed and had the vintage collection. So they did a whole theme on sort of ocean and sea vibes. And this one has a couple. There's a little mermaid there and there's one here. The other ones are just more sort of fantasy images. So really I would probably only use those two for this one. So again, this is just a case of me trying to use up what I already have and not buying more stuff. I have this little Kidda set that's all blues and is really pretty. And I thought this might go nicely with my washi tape, and it does add a little bit more color variety. So I will probably get a lot of use out of this. And these are actually little tiny sheets of like washi that are just yay long. And I do like to sort of tear the edges to give them a little bit more natural look, or rip them in half so that they don't just feel like these little squares. So anyway, so I've got the Kidda. I have these, what are called mood stickers, and these were all done in sea colors. You can see on the back, there were 3 sheets of large in blues and greens and 3 sheets of small. They are all washi paper, and you can tell I've already used this one quite a bit at some point. So these I just add into my planner in various places. They're just kind of fun. I've used a couple of these sheets in the past. I really like sort of the washi dots. So I will probably add those in for sure. And then I made this lovely sheet of Sea Goddess, as if I knew July was going to be all about mermaids. It's like I planned ahead. So this is available in my shop. And then this is the sticky numbered shells. This is also available in my shop. And in foil are the numbers 1 through 31. So these could be used as like the sticker for the day. I usually make I have my own called date dots that if I were not going to use this, I would probably use the date dots in the craft, or I think I have a green sheet that I might use. So I think there's usually some stuck in the back here. Let's see. Nope. None of that stuff's going to get used this month. So yeah. Usually I have date dots in there. Let me see if I can find some. Okay, so these are the date dots that I have, options I have available to me. There's the craft, which would give me sort of that shell vibe. The greens, which is sort of the seaweedy, and then the blues, which I do think is probably where I'm gonna go. Although they do look a lot like these stickers, so decisions. So anyway, if you would like a sheet of your own date dots, they are available on my website. Ta-da! So anyway, or the shells, so also available. So anyway, so these are some of the stickers. The last part in the sticker collection is I had a few pieces, a few options. Well, those don't really count. I don't know where those came from. This is the Poseidon's Kingdom. This is a sticker book from Peter Popper Press. I carry this on my shop as well. And this is 700 oceanic themed stickers. So there's shells, there's mermaids, there's all sorts of crazy stuff. So this will definitely get a workout this month for me. So this is going to be a big part of my collection for the month. I might cherry pick out a couple pages. For me, it helps if I select a few pages rather than always resorting to the whole book, because this is just a lot to flip through every day. So I might like take this page of waves and take this page of sort of watercolor seaweed, you know, and then maybe take this page with the whales or something, and just sort of streamline stuff a little bit for myself. And, you know, just use up 3 or 4 pages this year, and then I've got more pages that I can use next year. because don't think I won't do another mermaid theme next year. I probably will, or something sea related. Maybe it'll all just be octopus. I don't know. But anyway, so this is what I've got going for this month. I will start my page layouts. So the way that I do these, if you have been on my channel before, you have probably seen this technique. But what I do is I will start with a bit of washi tape, a date dot or some sort of date sticker, some way to track the date. I could use rubber stamps if I wanted to. If you have a set of numbered rubber stamps, you could do your dates that way as well. The paper that I'm using is Stology, which is very similar to Tomoe River, so it is a very thin. Rubber stamping on this paper often gets really bad ghosting and show through to the other side. So if I would like to do more rubber stamping, I think I'm going to have to switch to thicker weight paper so that I don't get quite as much show through from page to page. But anyway, I'm gonna sort of cherry pick some stickers real quick. Okay, like I said, it helps me to just sort of limit my selection so that I'm not going through this whole big book. So what I did was I pulled out 5 sheets, which is still way more than I need, but it will give me options for my page layouts. So I just picked some sheets that caught my attention. So I picked out the waves, the shells, some octopi, this one, which feels a little more, it feels very me. It's very vintage, kind of botanical. I guess they wouldn't be botanical. They would be sea botanical, I don't know what you'd call it, but illustrations. And then this page that I was looking at before, which has these lovely watercolor bits of seaweed, because it's green and I love anything that's green. So let's crack on. I think, you know what? I'm just going to mix and match. I'm going to use a blue sheet and a green sheet. I don't know if I'll use the shells. I think I'm going to hold off on the shell. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But we'll get some pages laid out here. And then here's my sea goddesses. So, because I need some mermaids. So let's get this open. Pardon the, this is not ASMR for me. Like, I'm going to take this out of plastic. Well, you guys don't have to listen. Okay. I'm one of those people who just does not think of the sound of people opening plastic wrap as the least bit interesting. I'm fine if you flip through things, you open boxes, that kind of thing. But man, the sound of cellophane just makes me bananas. Oh, and I have more to open. Okay, cellophane's been opened. Let's get started. So, okay, I'm really excited about this. For me, it really makes a difference just to pare down what all I'm going to use. So July starts on Tuesday. I can't decide. I really like this. This totally feels like water to me. So what I think I'm going to do is peel these. And I love to rip these in half. And just that way I get like, it just feels more natural. So I'm going to put a little bit just on the inside edge. And then we'll put a little bit down here just to create a little balance kind of thing. And then I always keep a pair of scissors, and I highly recommend, if you do not have a pair of these teeny tiny embroidery scissors, like, they are the sharpest little dudes on the planet, but they're perfect for getting just those like little details, like just cutting around, you know, this page has rounded corners, so just to trim that up so it looks like it's rounded. And then, like, I really like to run my artwork over the edge of my page, just so that it sort of breaks the bounds. So let's see. Well, we'll start with some waves. So we'll put some waves down here. And some waves up here. And again, let's see if I didn't stick that too far. I do like to just trim stickers sometimes so that I can put them flush to the edge or over the side. So this way I can kind of do something like that. So now I can just add my numbers. And I think for this We're definitely going to stay in the blues. So here's our one. And then I said it was Tuesday. And here are my color choices. Oh, definitely that mild liner. So this sheet, so I've been keeping this book. This is a classic coloring oversize. Yes, I'm plugging the firm. But I've kept each month in here so that I can go back and see which pens I've used. And so if there was one I liked in particular, I do have a reference. But it also means that, like this, I can figure out exactly which color I think will look best for a particular day. So we're going to there we go, Tuesday. So that is how I handle a page layout. And I like to sit and do at least 2 weeks in one sitting. And it usually doesn't take more than about a half an hour, 40 minutes tops. And that's if I'm really indecisive. At a certain point, I kind of set myself a time frame and just, you know, like I have 30 minutes to kind of get through these. So I will, maybe I'll do this as a little bit of a speed up so you guys don't have to watch me fiddle and noodle with these at this point. But I'm just going to lay out a few more pages and then I can talk through a little bit about my decision-making process. On facing pages, I really like to sort of place the art, you know, the washi tape, the stickers, that kind of thing. You know, like if I put it in this corner, then maybe I'll put it in this corner, or, you know, like put them both in the middle. So it kind of creates a little layout, or both on these outside edges. But I do like to move the artwork around so that I don't get bulk all in one spot. Like if you always put your artwork in the top corner, then you're going to just have, like, it's all going to get clumped up here. And so as you look at the side of my book, it's kind of evenly thick. I don't have any spots that are like thicker in one corner than the other. And I always like to joke I'm a cautionary tale, because at one point I did put all the artwork in the top corner thinking, you know, then my layouts all look real consistent. And lo and behold, this part of my book was like this, and this part was like this. And I was like, well, we're not going to do that again. So learn your lessons from me. I make a lot of mistakes. So anyway, I'm going to crack on. I'll put a little music here for you, and we will kind of zip through this because nobody wants to watch me do this for an hour. Okay, so I've got the first 15 days of the month done, and I'll just walk you through really quickly. You just witnessed the sort of sped up version. I will put some information about roughly how much time it took me to do the first 15, but I would say right around 20 minutes. But I will put a timestamp right here to let you know exactly how much time it took me from start to finish to do 15 days. Like I said, I don't think it was more than 20 minutes. So I feel like this is something that most people could do over their lunch break, while watching an episode of The Simpsons, you know, whatever rocks your boat. So again, I like to kind of move my artwork around, put it in different places. And then once I have put a little piece of artwork in there, I try to figure out a way to sort of either nestle or add the day of the week that I write with a pen, which is why I have all of these markers and everything out, in a color that either coordinates or highlights with the rest of the artwork. And then because usually I save my fountain pens, then I will use like sort of a contrasting or matching color with my fountain pens. So like on this page, I would probably use the Kawiko iridescent with the Robert Oster Cafe Crema in it, just because it would match the sort of browns. But I could certainly use my Kobe. Oh my God, look how beautiful it looks on this page. With the green in here as well. So it would look lovely as well. So yeah, so I just wrote in, stuck my stickers down. And again, like in this case, I kind of match, and then you see like the artwork kind of makes this little pattern. But then once I get my writing and everything in here, I can sort of divide this page based on the placement of the artwork. So I could come in here with a ruler, and I'm just gonna use this pen as an example. And like maybe I put a rule here and here, and this can be like a little to-do list. This can be my details for the day. And then down here, maybe this is, you know, if it was particularly unusual weather, or if, you know, I'm reading, like what I'm reading, what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, kind of a thing. And the same thing over here. Like I could divide the page across here and just put a little line or little dots or something, and then use this top half for some day-to-day information, and then maybe divide this bottom half in thirds. And again, just giving myself little quadrants, little areas to write my details, which is kind of what I do anyway, but I tend to like put the lines in later. So it's like, you know, here I wrote, you know, paid my quarterly taxes, here's stuff that went on, and then here's like, you know, I pull a tarot card every day, and so I wrote that down here. Had I written a little bit more, it might have looked a little more aesthetically appealing, but it's kind of, it makes it quick and easy for me to go back and read sort of what I did. So like just drawing a little line, and you can use a ruler or you can just freehand it, whatever works for you. I'm a freehand, like it takes too long to find a ruler, and like by then I've lost interest, so I just do it by hand, you know. And you can take a marker like this, you know, and just go dot, 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 dot. And then even if they're not super even, you can use the grid marks to where you're going to put your dots, or put them in between the grid marks, you know, so it looks straight, but you didn't have to do a whole lot of work at it. So this one I used that peppermint color, which totally matches this washi tape, and I think this page turned out really nice. I'm very happy with it. But again, like I can divide this page up in different ways. I tend to use like, you know, here, and I can do some information here and some here, you know, whatever. Like by putting stuff on the page, it takes that whole fear of a blank page out of the equation for me. I stuck a couple stickers down. I stuck some washi tape. Maybe it didn't turn out quite like I wanted it to, and maybe I don't think it looks real aesthetic, but there's something on the page for me to work around, work over. You know, I can certainly, like if I didn't like a particular layout, nothing says that I can't come back in here later and stick a photo, you know, like off my photo, might have like a little mini photo printer, just stick it over whatever I didn't like. Or if I have a big blank space, that was really what I was intending to do with my birthday page. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Was my friend and I, who traveled to St. Louis for my birthday, took a bunch of pictures, and I was just going to stick the pictures in on that page. And that would be a great way for me to remember what I did on that particular birthday. But anyway, so we'll go back through here. So I found that, I realized that these dot stickers are 2 sizes. And so putting them in ended up making them look like bubbles, which made me really happy. So I thought that was kind of a fun way to sort of make it feel like I was underwater. I added a little blue whale. I think that's a blue whale, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It's some kind of whale. He's very cool. But I put him down at the bottom of the page so it looks like he's jumping up. I might add more to this page later at the top just to sort of balance, because it's very, right now the artwork's very heavy on the bottom, but maybe I'll come back, put more of these dots, you know, something like that. This was another one that I think turned out really nice with the combination of the sort of coral warm colors and that acid green tape. And this was the only time, I think this was one of the only pages where I used one of my fountain pens, just because it does have a stub nib in it to do my writing, just because I liked that the slightly darker brown color with the sort of lighter stickers. And yes, I did use all of my date dots. I used the blue ones, I used the craft ones, and I used the green ones. So later I'm going to be real mad at myself when I want blue ones or green ones in a certain color and I don't have that number anymore. So maybe I'll just save them and remix them for next July. Who knows? I'm sure I will find a way to use them. And then I'd use that same stub nib for this page, which reminds me of those, like all those sort of, like the Librarian series. Did you guys ever watch that? Where it's like, it's a little Indiana Jones kind of vibe, except they're librarians and then they go on adventures to find like hidden treasures. Anyway, I'm having fun. So anyway, that is what I have for the first 2 weeks of July. I will certainly add more pages. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. Please let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see, or if these are horrible to watch and you keep tuning out after 2 minutes. Please tell me and I will stop making them. I will do something else. As always, there will be a blog post that has all of the materials and where you can purchase what is still available. Apologies for anything I use that is no longer available, discontinued, out of stock, or from some company that's gone out of business, and vice versa. So the video's on YouTube, the blog post is on the blog. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for sticking through this all with me, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.